everyone, and welcome to Lety Does Playing Lone Wolf, The Huntress, Book 3, Echoes of Eternity, Part 13. So, where I had last left off, I think we're going to go beat up Venthusias now. I defeated the wet nurse by being inside of a golem. That was pretty great. I'm glad I remembered that. So my red jewel is gone now. Let's see. I have this rallying the people. What's that called? Knowledge. And we were over here on section 90, and then it wanted me to go to section 170. So let's do that. Okay. I will write. Okay. Oh wait, I already wrote that. That's all right. Together, you and the people of Voltac march up the mountain. As you go, more Vol join you, spurred on by the calls of their neighbors and friends. Even mothers with newborns join the march, carrying their babes in wraps and around their fronts. By the time you approach Grace Dancer Road and the halls of supremacy, there is not a single free-minded citizen in Voltac who is not marching with you. Yet they are not an army. They are able-bodied, young, and fierce enough. But of them, not a single person has ever actually been in a battle. What weapons they wield are mostly ceremonial. Many carry knives from their kitchens or scissors from their crafts. Many have no weapons at all. A young man comes to walk beside you. He has a face made for expression, with large brown eyes, generous lips, and dimples so deep that they are like smiles on top of his smiles. Like the rest of the Vol, he has no armor, but he has managed to find an actual spear and a shield. It takes you a moment to recognize him as the brother of the black-haired girl from the beach. For last you saw him, he was holding her against her will, and none of the joy that now shines in his eyes was present then. Now she marches alongside him, her own smile bright and confident. "My name is Nathan," he says. "My sister tells me you washed up on shore, that you were God sent. I don't know about that, but you feel like you belong here. You look like one of us. If I gave you this spear, you could be Jinn herself, guarding the entrance to the city." Nathan looks up the last hill to where you can see the white bell tower of the halls of supremacy. Father died in a fishing accident, but the plague took Mother. She didn't believe in taking the medicine, he says. After she died, I started to believe. I had to. I was the only one left to protect my sister. That's why I'm fighting now. That's why we are all fighting, to protect one another. We may not have experience as warriors, but this is our home. These people are our people. Maybe that would be enough. You do not get a chance to answer. Meditation Plaza, the courtyard of the Halls of Supremacy, is just ahead, and your attention is stolen by what awaits you there. Turn 253. Okay. So we even freed Nathan, which is the other guy. So that's good too. Let me drink a little more water. A little scratchy. I don't know why I kept losing my place there. I just kept getting confused in between the sentences. Okay. 53. Okay. When you arrive at the gates to the halls of supremacy, they are shut, but that does not keep its occupants from emerging to greet you. It is not a dozen speakers that come. It is easily twice that many. They climb like apes over the walls with their fingers finding impossible handholds in the white stone. Stone you are sure will soon be painted red by your work. The speakers do not match your own numbers, but they make up for that in sheer size and strength. They pound the ground with their cudgel-like fists and let out unearthly barks and howls through their liquid-filled masks, like hounds held on an invisible leash. Then the leash is released and the speakers surge forward as one, eager to tear apart the people who were once their brothers, mothers, and daughters. If you order your people to form a defensive line, turn to 155. If you lead a charge, turn to 124. Oh no, I hate these decisions. On one hand, defensive line, we have more numbers, that might be good. On the other hand, I am the American Huntress, so I'm going to lead a charge if I'm able to, right? Plus, we got Rivaan on our side and his big old raven, so we should be good, right? Let's lead the charge. I hope this doesn't get everyone killed. Maybe I shouldn't be in charge. Maybe Rivaan should have taken up on this one. A battle cry wells up from a place deep inside of you, invoking names and images without knowing why. For Jinn, for the stars and moon, for the wind and grass, it is picked up by the Vol, and they charge into battle with such fervor and speed that you would believe they were mounted warriors in shining armor, instead of men and women wearing sandals and saris and wielding kitchen knives. At your side, Natan drives his spear into the heart of a speaker, drawing first blood. His sister is not far behind, dodging between the legs of another and slashing her knife up into the crotch. You shout encouragement and charge the nearest speaker, knowing that you need to maintain this momentum, but your opponents are driven by a willpower that is singularly bent on achieving its goals, no matter the cost. If you have the knowledge, Master of Ravens, bookmark this page and turn to 176. Last of the Faithful, Endurance 55. This combat is fought at a ratio of -3. Add +2 if you are wielding 2 weapons, or if you have salazans and are wielding an axe two-handed. In addition, add the Rallying the People number to the damage you deal every round. If you win this combat, add 5 to your Rallying the People number and turn to 226. We have knowledge of Master of Ravens. I was hoping Rivaan would help. And then as for bookmarking this page, I mean, I can just go back one that I've already written, so I'm good on that. Let's see what this does. A cry comes from above as Rivaan enters the battle, his giant raven digging talons into a speaker and throwing him across the courtyard. A conspiracy of regular-sized ravens follows, cawing madly and attacking any bits of exposed skin, pecking at the white eyes and slashing at hands and faces. Remove 20 endurance from your opponent's total and return to your bookmarked page to fight the combat. I just think it's really funny. I know that he has the giant raven, but the fact that the little ravens also fight alongside Rivaan, it just makes me laugh. I don't know. Minus 20 EP to last of Faithful. Yeah. Okay, and then we need to go back to 124. Okay. There we are. So now they're going to have 35 endurance, and then we're going to continue with the rest of this. So, let's see. I'll just write fight there, and then we will go over here, and this will be the last of the Faithful, and they have an endurance of 35. I cannot wield 2 weapons, correct? Because the Bejeweled Warhammer, I believe, needs to be wielded, right? With 1 hand. Do I get the other bonuses to... It doesn't say on the page that if I was to use the Gladius alongside my Sun God's Shield that I would not get that bonus. So can I still do that and get that bonus? Or if you have Salazans. I don't, right? I didn't do that? No. Okay. Can I use all this other stuff? It doesn't say I can't. So, or maybe I should save it. I have a fire seed. 1 more. Right? So, assuming I am allowed to use my Gladius, then I use it with my Sun God's Shield. That means that I get +2 to my ratio. I don't think it says I can't. And it doesn't say only when applicable type of thing, so I think I can. And if that's the case, that means that my ratio is -1. And my endurance is 20. What are some of the results on that? That would still take quite a few times. So how many more people could I need to kill, right? Is there any reason for me to hold on to my fire seed? I feel like I can just use one. And how does the Viper's Bite work again? I forgot. Nope. Nope. Yes. Viper's Bite. Deal +2 damage. When you deal damage in combat, gone after 1 combat. A single poison can be applied at the start of combat. So, I mean, if I was to apply the Viper's Bite poison, then that would help me defeat them faster. If I use the Fire Seed, I can deal 4 immediately. But I feel like the Fire Seed is very useful outside of combat. Like, there's been multiple times that it's been like, do you have Fire Seed? And then if yes, you can use it now. I don't want to come across one of those situations and not have the Fire Seed. And this is this every round? Yes, right? I should use it. I always hold on to them, but for what? Can I use it? I don't remember if it said I'm not allowed to use poisons on the Gladius. I know it says that I can't use it on the Bejeweled Warhammer. I don't remember. That would mean 9 extra damage every round for everything I do. If I do that. I think I can. I feel like I would have remembered. Right? So let's... Oh, and I need to do my punishment. The Kunai Parasite punishment. So I should probably do it, right? To give myself the best chance. Let's... Can I? I don't remember. Let's use the Viper's Bite. And then that would mean +2 when I deal damage. So and then you add your rallying the people number to the damage you deal every round. So that's 7. So that's 9. I'll just write it on the next line so I don't forget. Okay. This is good. I think I'm also allowed to use a Fire Seed in the beginning. Just chuck it at their face real quick. But I actually won't. And if I'm off by 4 for victory later, I will regret it. Aww. There is nothing... This doesn't say anything about if you lose combat, go to page whatever, whatever. So I guess you just die. Either that or Mr. Stark really thinks I'm going to win this easily. Okay, let's start rolling some die. That's an 8. Great first roll. What does that mean? That means they take 9, I take 1. Minus 9 minus another 9. So it's actually minus 18. I wrote plus 9 damage, so maybe I should have written that differently. I have 19. They have... $17? Yes. No. Yes. Stop it! What did I just say? 17 plus 18? That's 35, yeah. I don't know why I'm freaking out. I'm correct, yeah? I think. Math. Okay. Rolling again. It's a 6. Ah! 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 You stupid! You stupid! You stupid! The answer is 6. What's your punishment, stupid? They take 7, you take 2. I just said I remembered, and then I forgot again. You stupid. You stupid. They take 7. You take 2. So this is an 18 now. And let's... Oops. Oh, I didn't have to erase. I could have just made this a 9. Alright. New math. 19. Mm, 35. Yes! Stop. I still do plus 9 damage. Okay. Now that is my first roll. Now I have done the punishment. It's a good thing I wrote that there because I was about to forget again. And it's a good thing I did my punishment. Now I can do it correctly. Go. It's a 2! How bad are we talking here? And I can't use the amulet, so I just have to deal with it. Looks like it's gonna be 3 and 5. I used up all my good rolls previously, so oh wait, no, it's not that, because another 9. Right. Oopsie. I can change that into a 7 like that. Okay. Rolling again. A 9. Thank you. It's what I needed. That means 10 and nothing for me. Okay. Great. We won. Lovely. I had 20. I now have 13. Yep. So... Oh, wait. I just finished a fight. So, can I now use my... Can I now use my long spur? I can only use one, correct? After battle, or can I just chug chug? It doesn't say for the long spur. Do I assume I can chug chug? There is no resurrections this time, so if I die, I die. I should chug chug, right? Okay. Hold on, stupid. Just wait a moment. Don't get confused. Do this in order. Don't be dumb. First of all, you already used your Viper's Bite. That's gone. Would +7 assist me? Correct. Yes, it would actually get me back up to what I needed to be. Yes. Chug chug? Am I allowed to do that? Yeah, let's do it. I don't know. It says it can be used after battle. I don't think it says I can only use one. It says one poison before battle, but these are potions and it's after battle. I would need to look at the rules otherwise. Okay, well, I can look at the rules later. I think I'm correct. Minus spur, minus Larnuma, plus 7 EP. Now, it will be very disappointing if the immediate next page is like, raise your EP back to 100. Still holding on to that diamond here. Not letting that go. I don't need to quite yet. I have a lot of open slots. Okay. Now, it also said add 5 to your rallying the people number. So my rallying the people number is now 12. Okay. Now, I think that is everything. There is one thing that I noticed that was off, and that's right there. It's out of 20. Oh my gosh. Okay. I've used up pretty much everything in my inventory, but in my backpack, but I'm remembering to use stuff this time. And all it took was me writing it like literally up here on the same page to remember to use it. Yeah, because I couldn't use the skin crawler. I had already used the Viper's Bite, so I think I did the best I could do. Minus I could have used the fire seed, I guess, but I'd rather hold on to that, considering I only have one more and I don't know when I'll be able to make another. So I think I've done good. This has gone good. Unless I did that wrong. You can tell me if I did it wrong. I won't be offended. That would make sense considering how well I'm doing. This is pretty... There. Okay. Yes. Good. With a shout of triumph, you and your people cut down the first wave of speakers. Beyond them, the fortress gates are open. You quickly rally the vole closest to you and push forward while the rest continue to hold back the remaining speakers. Natan and his sister are among those who are at your side as you pass through the gates into a bailey. The main body of the halls rises in front of you, and you cast around for the entrance. There is none. The halls have been completely sealed. No doors exit, and the windows are far too high to reach. There is a rumble as the gates shut behind you. Whisperers stand tall on the walls, sunlight silhouetting them, their metal hold poles set with radiant green crystals at their tips. They lower them, and blasts of emerald fire arc out towards you. If you have knowledge of Master of Ravens, head to 119. If you have the Thussy car and a dagger or a hand cannon and shot remaining and wish to use it, turn to 180. If you have neither, turn to 14. So here's the thing. Again, I'm stuck with I have both. Little girl, hey, that is mine.
Go away or sit right here.
What do you need, child? It's mine. There. Happy? I took it. Happy? It's mine. What do you need? Go or sit? You want to sit? I don't know what you want. Anyway. So I'll just go in order. I feel like the Master of Raven things comes first. And I do have that. So I'll do that. The thing is, I don't want Rivaan to die. I want Rivaan to be okay. So I just feel like if I can shoot them, and I definitely have more shots left, I should. And wish to use it. I mean, I do wish to use it. Oh, I don't know. Poor Rivaan. I hope I don't get you killed. The fire explodes all around you, burning your companions alive. You see Natan grab his sister and flee for the gates, but lose sight of them in another blast. All seems lost when, in a flash of smoke-colored wings, Rivaan's ravens swarm the battlements, pecking and clawing at the Whisperers, who turn their staves on them. You see a bolt fly up through the smoke, and Rivaan's raven gives a terrible shriek. Your heart clenches. Another Whisperer appears through the smoke, pointing a stave at you. Before it can fire, a pair of ravens grab hold of his helm's needle-like apparatus and rip the needle out. With a spray of blood, the Whisperer's lips rip open past the stitches, and he begins screaming and sobbing and laughing simultaneously, flailing in a mad dance that carries him off of the battlements, where he crashes to his death beside you. Their magic staff rolls from his hand, and you snatch it up, pointing it at the fortress wall. Whatever magic powers the thing responds to your intention, and a fireball flies out to crash against the wall, breaking a hole large enough for you to fit through. You drop the now dormant staff and run into the belly of the main keep, swearing to avenge the fallen, knowing that you are nearly out of time to save the rest. Turn to 173. Is the raven okay? I don't know. It survived being burned before, so I think it's okay. The interior is not made up of halls, but is one large room made of white stone, filled with the reverent stillness of a cathedral. The sun shines through stained glass windows, projecting their colorful images down onto the stone floor, filling the space with giant two-dimensional versions of Venthusias. The room is dominated by an enormous shaft, far too deep to see the bottom. Rows of chains descend into it, and you are certain this is the same shaft that leads down into the underneath where the wet nurse's eggs were being harvested. Extending halfway out over the shaft is a stone bridge without rails, leading to a large cylindrical glass tank that floats unsupported above the pit. A smog of muddy gray liquid fills the tank. Through the liquid, just barely visible, an almost human shape moves. You jump as one of the sets of chains rattles to life, bringing up a lift from far below. At the same moment, you feel the ground shake and the light coming through the windows becomes sullen and grim. Outside, you know the sun is beginning to bleed across the sky. The power of the confluence still resides inside the people of Voltac. The summoning of Nar has begun. Hoisted by the chains, a lift arrives at the bridge close to where the tank is. Stepping off, white cape trailing behind him, is the Faceless. "This is the end for you," the Faceless says, his voice less mocking than before, more low and dangerous. "You have already failed 12 times. This time, your failure will be permanent. You can drink a potion of Lety now, if you have one. If so, it will add its effects to any combat ratios in the upcoming section. This is the only potion you can use right now. Do you have the Voltac hand cannon? If so, turn to 80. If not, turn to 113. I do. I have it. I'm so nervous. We should just destroy that tank right away. Just poof, shoot the tank. So I filmed parts 13 and 14 of this Let's Play all in one go, and this clip that you're watching marks the end of part 13. Stay tuned for part 14. That's all I got for you for now. Get out there, do all the stuff, and I'll see you next time. Bye!